You're live. Okay. Hello and welcome to the first day of winter. Hooray. Um, I know I had promised to potentially do a Q&A. This will not be a Q&A. Nobody has expressed any overt interest in a Q&A, so maybe next week, maybe not. Other content creators say they're taking holidays right around this time of year, so hopefully that'll give people a chance to go back and watch some of my videos instead. Yay. Except that I just did a boot video on Wednesday and hardly anybody's watched it, so probably no boot video tomorrow. I don't really have anything to add to that previous one yet. That was a work boot related video. And as I've complained in the past before, if I try to not buy too many things at the end of the year when everybody else is all scrambling, but certain things I kind of want or need or whatever. And as is always, many of those things are just sold out in my size. So I did order 2 pairs of boots from a company that I have not tried yet. And one of the 2 I hope will be the right size, and the other one maybe I'll have to exchange. I don't know. I didn't buy the exact same boot in 2 different sizes, like sometimes I do just to save time. They had a free shipping offer, but only if you spent, like $8 more than I was spending. And they didn't seem to have shoelaces or insoles or anything that I could add on. So I went to one of their other models that it might work if it fits. Not necessarily a model of boot in either case that is my norm. And I don't usually announce what boots I'm buying in advance because, that kind of spoils the unboxing. So I'm not going to say the names and the products and all that, but those are not the only boots I have coming in, hopefully sooner than later. But as part of the title of this video states, will I be doing a no buy year in 2025? Well, I think it's a little bit hypocritical to announce a no buy year after you've just had a splurge month. And clearly I've gotten a bunch of stuff that, it was kind of annoying that I actually had paid off 2 credit cards and then I had to use one of them again because a payment to a 3rd credit card hadn't gone through yet. Because it was like, no, I really am, trying to pay these things down. Now, the problem with credit cards is, of course, if you don't use them for several months, they cancel them and you lose your credit cards, and you can't have that happen. So having a true no-buy year, I think I mentioned this in a previous video, is nearly impossible in the modern age. You still have to buy something every, couple months at least if you don't want to lose all your credit cards. Now, to those people who say just have one credit card or something, that's great if you have one with a pretty good limit. So you're not, in big trouble if you have an emergency. But I prefer to have a couple with smaller limits and, work it that way. So anyway, without getting into woes and, debt issues and all that kind of unfun holiday stuff, instead we're going to discuss some of it, though. I'm not going to totally ignore, because I did buy things this year. Like I said, I didn't buy too many things that I didn't hopefully need somewhere down the line. I didn't buy any pants, I don't think. I might have bought some jeans earlier in the year, but I thought they were from last year that I didn't wear yet. I don't remember if I bought jeans this year or not. So maybe. I didn't buy any amplifiers, although I kind of want one that I didn't get. I saw it used, but I didn't know what condition it would be in, and the sales staff didn't seem terribly interested in whether or not I bought it or not. And it's kind of a glorified practice amp, which is kind of all I need, but I already kind of have a couple of those that I was able to get relatively serviced. So that I was able to put that off for now, at least, but I still might need another amplifier in the next year or two if these things completely crap out on me. I did buy guitars, but last year I think I sold 3 guitars, and this year I think I sold 2. So I didn't only bring in guitars, but I still brought in more than I eliminated, obviously, and blah, blah, blah. And I still have, like, a cheap one for taking out on the porch and that kind of thing. That I suppose but you can't get any money for a thing like that. You're just basically giving it away. So it's like, well, let me at least use the strings first before I give it away, because I just put 10 gauges on there a couple months ago. And I know people usually change their strings more often than every couple months, but I don't play that guitar like every single day. So I'm pretty sure the strings will be good for a while. Or at least good enough for me, since I'm not recording or, again, touring with the thing. But what else did I buy? I bought hats, yes. I didn't buy a ton of different kinds of hats. I bought like a bunch of baseball hats, and they were all mostly at sale price. I do have one new one here that I'm going to show in a minute that I've been waiting to get, and I don't know if I'll get a second one in the other color, in this color, anytime soon, but maybe sooner than later, maybe next year. We'll see how this one does, if I even end up wearing it. Again, I have a lot of felt hats that get neglected a lot of the year, but I did wear some of them a couple times more than some of the other ones. And last year I had bought that one straw one that I still haven't used. But I did wear my other straw one quite a bit. And was it this year or last year? I sold one of the straw ones that didn't fit. So I did acquire one, but I got rid of one. And then a couple of baseball hats I got rid of. And then when I replenished, I tried to replenish with wool ones so that at least I would know they were good. But I did end up getting, 2 polyester ones or something. Jackets and sweaters. Yes, I did end up getting a couple more sweaters just to have the design. In fact, this was supposed to be the sweater I was going to wear. It was going to be all beautiful. And I bought this actually a while ago when I thought this was going to be my holiday reset sweater. But then, of course, the weather warmed up again, and it's like 70-something degrees right now. Not wearing a sweater for a video, sorry. So yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, yeah, I bought all these beautiful winter clothes, and I don't know if I'll even get to use all of them. That's kind of one of the frustrations of living in a warm climate without the same seasons as everybody else. There was one I really, really wanted, and it kind of was expensive, and it was the vest version of a Fair Isle, similar to this. They ended up being sold out of my size by the time I got around to it, so. And it wasn't even like a big sale price or anything, but everybody had already bought up that color. So this one has sleeves, and I don't get as much use out of the ones with the sleeves as I do with the other ones, but it's LL Bean, so I figure it's decent, and it's the right size. So hooray. But the other one was more of like an orange and green, kind of more of the Irish motif, whereas this one's just kind of a nice laid back color. And then this one I couldn't resist. This one I thought was a little pricey, and it was kind of disappointing that they didn't have the felt letters sewed on like a real traditional one. But for my preppy Ivy style look, I think this one will go good with all my hats that say M. Oh, I got another one of those M hats that I forgot to bring in. Well, you'll see it some other time. And then, of course, this one I had from before, but it was another one I wanted to wear in a video, and it's just way too warm. It's one of those rag wool ones. But again, they had a similar one that had some kind of cute little deer things going on or whatever, and that one was already sold out, or maybe, as often in the case of LL Bean, they advertise it, but they never actually get it in stock. So I never got that one, but I still have this one. If I ever need a really, really thick wool sweater, I have a few from them. Well, sticking with LL Bean. At the last minute, I decided to buy the color of the pajamas that I didn't buy last year. Although I do still have the gray ones that I think are going to be the ones that I wear. I have the black ones that I did get last year, and I can't find them. And that's, red flag. You can't find the pajamas, but they're here somewhere. But I don't need them right now anyway. It's not like same as boots. It's not like pajamas expire. I'm not that worried about it. They'll turn up as soon as I open the other box with the green stuff. When winter's well underway in a month or two, and I'll be like, oh, here they are, and it won't be that big of a deal. I'm not going to show the bed sheets again. I did bring in. Did I show this in the last? I know I took this one in the photo, but I don't think I opened this up in the video. I still haven't opened it up. Again, it hasn't been cold enough sitting in a chair watching television to need a throw blanket. But like I said, this one has that kind of fleecy backing. So I don't know if I'll ever use this on the bed, but we'll see how it goes. When I did my bedding video the other day that like 3 people watched or something, I had mentioned the Pendleton stuff extensively, but I did forget to mention that, see, I do have a couple of Wherein wool blankets that are a slightly different texture than the Pendleton motor robes, they call them, although I think it's the exact same size. So when I first bought this, I think I thought it was more of a full-size thing, and it's not. It's meant to be more of a throw. So I haven't used this on the bed, but it is wool. So I did already have wool, so I didn't necessarily need more wool. But I don't always want to, I don't know, use wool. So I got those cotton ones. Because I figure, yeah, I can just throw those in the wash. But I don't know if they'll be as warm yet. So it might still be nice to have wool ones that I can throw over top if I end up having a cold winter. Don't know. Again, waiting to see what the weather does. But like I said, I had these. And so the texture on this is, yeah, it's different than the Pendleton one. So I don't know which one you may prefer if you were on the market. And I think I definitely paid more for these than those, though. And then I went ahead and got this one on sale, the National Parks ones. I had kind of mentioned that briefly in that video, but didn't go overboard with it. But they had 2 on sale. There was a charcoal gray or a black one or something, and then there was this Joshua Tree one. So I did get this one with the vibrant colors, but again, not a full size blanket, but it is a different texture of wool than the other one from the other video that I didn't bring in here now because I wasn't really thinking about it. And it does come with the little leather carrier thing. And so this texture, oh, that's the side. It's not the exact same as the Wherein tartan one there. I can't tell if it's the same thickness. Pretty close. The Wherein one's actually nicer. So there you go. So whatever I spent on that, I guess I got more of my money's worth than this one. Maybe, but I don't remember what I paid for that one. Because that one might have been like 200 and something bucks or something, and this one was like 100 something bucks, I think. What's up? But it's a blanket. I'm not planning to, it's wool. I'm not planning to wrap myself directly in it. So as long as it's comparably warm, the texture hopefully won't bother me that much. As I had bought some kilts. Yes, I didn't bring in the kilts. I did buy one kilt that I don't think I talked about in the video. I might have talked about in one video where the sizing's a little in. They didn't have quite enough fabric to do all the pleats. I think that USA Kilts should have called me back and said, hey, man, are you sure this thing's going to run a little bit small and we're only going to give you like 17 pleats? And I would have said, oh, maybe not then, and save me the money, and I'll put that money toward the kilt and the tartan that I like better. But whatever, it'll work for casual use, which is pretty much all I use kilts for anyway, most of the time, because whatever, I'm not marching in the Queen's Guard or whatever. What did I see here? In one video, I had said that I had bought, I think, 40 pairs of boots and sent back 10. From memory, I think I sent back actually 7 all told because I ended up buying or exchanging a couple pairs. So I don't think I sent back a full 10. But Allen Edmonds, Oak Street, Tecovas, Chizos, Red Wing, Timberland Pro, and Abilene I returned. So that's 7 for sure. And then I ended up keeping Silverado. I have 1 pair of JK, and I returned the second pair in the other color. But I wasn't necessarily planning on buying both colors. I don't know. For a minute there, I thought it was interesting, but then when the sizing was all kind of Grant Stone, I did a bunch of exchange, and then the one boot I'm still not positive about, which is the better fit in the field boot, but I kept the two in the wider size. Truman, I didn't didn't return any, but I didn't order anymore. I don't know what's happening with that company or if I'm going to be able to continue with them because the sizing on them is pretty close, but I don't know how they're going to break in because they're kind of uncomfortable. And it's hard for me to break in uncomfortable boots. Same with the Whites boots, which is still, again, did a whole video about how I still haven't figured out their sizing exactly. But going forward, I think Whites will still offer more styles of boots that I might want to get, at least one or two. Truman, it's more about if you like the pretty leather, and they seem to be phasing out the pretty leathers. So we'll see if they do or not. Thursday boots, of course, they're everybody's favorite. Most of the viewers on my channel are men over 30 who want to see Thursday boots. They don't give a crap about any of this other content. So I guess you'll be disappointed that I'm not buying any more Thursday boots for a while, but at least I'll be doing wear reviews of some of them. Hopefully sooner than later if I slot them in. That's the whole point of the winter reset, is to kind of announce what I'm slotting in and what I'm slotting out. But this episode, again, is a kind of a cop-out because, again, it's kind of contingent on the weather, because if the weather's really cold, I'm not going to be wearing Thursday boots. I'm going to be wearing the Georgia insulated boots. So we'll see how it goes. If the weather is, pretty much like balmy or whatever it is now, then, yeah, I'll only be wearing mostly casual or, low top work style Wolverine boots or whatever, and get some wear in those and do a review of those instead. What did I buy? I bought Cowboy and Aussie shirts, at least 3. I bought wool shirts, 2 new from Pendleton and a couple used ones. I didn't do reviews of all the things because I just was kind of trying to give space to things without just being everyday video guy. But then I didn't intentionally skip very many things that I thought would be very important or, whatever. I was going through, and then, like I said, I bought these pajamas instead of the LL Bean ones, just because they were an add-on to the other bed sheets I was already buying. I already showed those in the decor video. So, but since this is a wear video, not a decoration video, then it makes more sense to show them now that, yes, I got them, but I have no opinion of them yet because I won't wear them until next month. So that leaves this, which is technically an unboxing, in a minute. And this, and I don't really have much else product to actually show in the strictest sense. So just a couple of things. Like I was saying, I don't have a lot of Filson things. So I got a couple new Filson things. Let me look at here. But what I want to talk about boots real quick first for my boot community that might still be watching, because you won't care about Filson shirts or something. Who knows? I was watching some videos about a couple brands of boots, and then I crossed them off my list. I might have mentioned some of these in the work boot videos, but Duradero got cut. DVA is one that they're all kind of hyping in the little circles now. They all kind of chase. The first guy gets the pair, and then the rest kind of chase them around. And these boot companies send free ones. I don't know how they determine who gets free ones, but they obviously have way more subscribers than I do, most likely. Even though I've been doing boot reviews longer and better than some of them, in my opinion, or at least try to wear the things in a reasonable manner to give you better advice than just, they look cool. I mean, we all kind of start off that way because YouTube's a thing we have to kind of navigate. It's a learned skill just like anything else. But if there's one thing I've been doing longer than, again, some of these reviewers, it's wearing boots in the more correct situation than just buying a pair of boots because they look tough, or buying tough boots to look tough even though you're not going to use them to look tough, which I, again, have less of a problem with than buying boots that are made to look tough that are just a, you know, a show pony and can't actually, you know, carry a load, right? Those guys may never actually need to carry a load, but you see their video thinking, oh, well, that boot's a better price than this boot, therefore it must be fine for work, and then you get a critical failure on your hands. Not fun. Okay, so yes, I do like to talk about fashion-y boots and stuff, you know, Thursday boots and excuse me, that kind of thing. But then I want to go into the gritty thing. And even though I might not be using all those boots in the correct applications, you know, because I'm not out logging in them or doing heavy construction or some of the other stuff, at least I kind of know what they need to have, you know, in their quality specifications or whatever to perform in that setting to a degree. Yeah. So yeah, Rock Rooster, you know, I'm not buying the Rock Rooster. I bought the Golden Fox instead. And like I said, for what they are, I thought the Golden Fox were okay. For what they are, I thought the Carolina boots were okay. For what they are, I thought the Silverado boots were actually a little bit better than I expected. Blah, blah, blah. So Origin, they had just done a couple, Rose Anvil and whoever had just done a couple videos about them. So obviously I haven't had a chance to look into them. One guy recommended Keen. I have not seen very many videos about Keen. They seem to have two mock toe wedge sole models that are kind of their bigger two models. The one's a no frills one, and the other one's a little more with the insulated interior and all that kind of stuff, which usually appeals to me less, but looks like it might be the better of the two boots. But I don't know if I'll get either of those anytime soon because I already have half a dozen wedge sole boots because I got the Thoroughgoods and the Wolverines and the Golden Fox already. So maybe next year, but next year being a no buy year, maybe next year means the end of next year. If they, you know, if I can get some in the right size for the sale price. And then there was the whites. The one that they had discussed was the Perry, which does not appeal to me because again, it's another wedge sole and I don't need another wedge sole. I almost bought the Fulton, which has a different outsole, more like the Silverado, but since I just got the Silverado for almost the same, for less money actually, it was kind of like, well, yeah, that one has a mock toe and this one looks like a combat boot, but since it's less money and blah, blah, blah. But the Silverado I wanted to get in black and it does not come in black. So I might get a second pair of those and dye them black or something eventually, but it's not an emergency. But there's also the whites C350 or whatever that is not a mock toe that does have a wedge sole. I might look into those, but since whites takes 4 months to get here and I already have a couple of Knicks pairs that I want to get or whatever, that is like, I don't know how much those whites ones cost, and I don't need another wedge sole yet, but instead of a mock toe, I might get that one mid-year when, I don't know, when the warmer months are coming, if I want a lower boot and all that kind of thing. So that's a maybe. That's not really part of a winter reset. That's more of a spring reset, but we'll see how it goes. What's this one? Oh, Red Wing Gore-Tex, Russell. Again, Russell. I did look at Russell's website a couple times because everybody kept hyping Russell. And I came actually very close to buying one pair. I might have mentioned this. They had a 6.5 wide, and I was kind of curious if I should get it just to see how the sizing is. But then their exchange and returns thing was like, you know, it's like, we want your money. If you don't, you know, you'll have to do a restock fee unless you do an exchange. And I didn't necessarily want all that money tied up because I wanted to get these other ones instead. So I just said, okay, well, somebody else can have that pair. And again, if next year's a no buy year, then I probably won't be buying Russell moccasins, but maybe toward the end of the year when we get to Mocktober, if I'm feeling especially Mocktober-ish more than I was this year, maybe I will order those. But don't hold your breath because I still have tons of boots to wear between now and then. And I may have forgotten all about it by then. And they're really not a high priority for me. I think I don't know if overpriced is the correct term because people will jump on you like, well, but they're hand sewn by a guy. Yeah, but again, if I want that arch support, I know, but they have arch support because they have a little flap of leather underneath. No, that's not arch support. We all know that's not the same thing as the, Thursday Challenger for $350 brick of leather, even if they're not made the exact same way as Nick's or whatever. I still have 2 pairs of those. I've barely worn one of them, so neither of them is a mock toe. But anyway, so Filson, I had some hats like this already. I have nicer ones. This green one actually cost me a few bucks for what it was. It's not a very thick hat, but it's kind of that Sean Connery style thing, and I don't really have an occasion to wear hats that look like that so much. This kind of thing I'll wear walking around because I have kind of matching tweed jackets for January. I'm a little less worried about it because it didn't cost a ton of money. It's just a Dorfman Pacific kind of thing, and yada yada yada. But it's not terribly thick. It's probably mostly polyester instead of wool. 35% wool, 50 acrylic, 15 nylon. Yeah, see, so that's a little bit of wool content, but it's not, a true nice hat like this one. That I'd also be afraid of this one getting blown away. I'd kind of want to wear it in the car. Yeah, and this one was made in Ireland. Bonus points. 100% wool, made in Ireland, and it costs like 115 bucks or whatever it was a few years ago. And then I have those thicker ones that I got, the Irish ragamuffin look ones or whatever. But this one I wanted for a while. And like I said, and they were actually out of it pre-supply chain issues. It was a while ago. I went to order it and they didn't have the color. So I could have gotten the charcoal, I think it was, of this a long time ago. So this is the Filson with the 100% wool, I assume, I hope. Virgin wool, yes. And it's a little bit tight. I'm hoping that it kind of stretches into shape. And it does not have ear flaps. That's kind of the one issue. But it should stay put on the head because it's quite thick. It's not quite the old man hat, but kind of a mountain version of the old man hat. So I did have to get this finally, and I might get one in charcoal eventually. Like I said, to match the Eddie Bauer jacket or coat, but it's not. And again, another not emergency. There was another hat that I kind of wanted that cost more than this, so I had to kind of say, no, not right now. Sort of a wide brim felt thing that I may never ever wear because, like I said, I don't get to wear felt hats very much in the year. But the time of the year when I can wear felt hats, I assume I can also wear a pretty thick wool hat. And I already had the Filson one, this with the match the vest, and the vest is fitted, so it's a little bit small on me now. But they've gone away from the fitted sizes of the things apparently to cut the corners or whatever. This one, of course, just has a adjustable band, not a fitted hat at least. But it is a Filson garment and all that stuff in the text. I can't read what this says. Maybe I can. 100% wool made in USA. So back when they still made the things in USA, they probably don't do that anymore. I don't know. Where is it? Oh, is it on this tag? The tag that I can't read. There's always a tag that I can't read. Yeah, I can't. I don't know. There's a bunch of tiny little letters that I cannot read. Anyway, I think I can wear it okay for a minute. So the last item though. So again, this is kind of a gratuitous thing. So all the minimalists will scream, "Why did you buy that when you already have those other three?" Well, because it was a lower price. And as I was complaining with the garments in my wool jackets video, and possibly that other one, the one in between the field jackets and the, I don't know, I made 3 jacket videos in a row. So one was about wool coats and one was about something else. And I forget which ones I showed all the ones in blah, blah. But it doesn't match the hat exactly because they changed the color of the green to make it more gray, but it's pretty close. And I think the big difference between this and the regular cruiser is this one doesn't have chest pockets. I think that's the only difference, but maybe I hope on the more expensive one, the snaps are better because I don't really like these snaps, but it's an unlined deal. And I bought it in extra large, even though they cautioned me that they run big. So large might have been big enough. But like I said, since I already had a Woolrich, a LL Bean, and a Pendleton, no, not Pendleton, sorry, Eddie Bauer jacket that are all too tight in here for me to wear with a bulky sweater, I decided not to risk it and got the extra large. So it's a little bit not the exact fit. So it doesn't look quite as nice as, you know, you might want it to, but for my purposes, again, same as that one leather jacket with, it's like, no, this sleeve issue is the issue because again, I want to be able to wear that stupid LL Bean sweater under the jacket if I need to. Most of my sweaters are bulky enough that, you know, so large in this would probably be a better fit even compared to those other brands, but try not to knock over my ornaments this time. But overall, and the sleeves are a little long, but they do have a second adjustment. Again, these kind of mediocre snaps. So overall, I definitely have a bit more room here. So I can wear a sweater under this for sure. So I don't think it was the worst purchase. It does have hand warmers. It does have, I don't know what this is supposed to be for, but it has hand warmers under the cargo, which again can be an issue with bulkiness. Like I said, I do not like these snaps. They do not cooperate at all. It has one inner interior and none on this side. So not like a ton of frills. There's no adjusters in the back or anything. There's no gusseted sleeves. There's no box pleat. Nothing like that. Just a chunk of wool. Yeah. But that should work for me pretty well if we have winter. Between this one and, like I said, I think the Yellow Bean one might be the warmest of the batch. Not positive. The Woolrich has a lining, but not insulation. The Eddie Bauer has a polyester lining and no insulation. So just kind of, but the Woolrich one's kind of the bulkiest one. This one is definitely not too bulky. I'm not like, oh, I can't move my arms. Again, it's when it's snapped up and I'm kind of letting the sleeves hang, it's kind of, yeah, there's, you know, that issue where it is the wrong size. But again, for what I want to be able to use it for, because you can see where the shoulders are not, like it is big on me technically. So if you're if you're looking to be able to wear it on its own kind of thing, you know, go with your regular size. Don't size up too much. But again, if you're trying to fit Irish sweaters underneath it, then you might want to gamble, like I said, on this. And again, what sizes they might have left, I don't know. Because other things, like I said, I've gone kind of not shopping for, but browsing for, have already been sold out. That time of the year when everybody else says, oh, you get all the bargains this year. Yeah, if you wear a size medium, maybe. Or, you know, size 9 shoes, they might still have them. Don't know. So that's about the size of it. So yes, I did get an expensive wool thing after buying that Australian stuff and after buying bedding and blankets and stuff, which I'm sorry you can't really see the pattern of this, but I'm really not going to take it out of the bag like the other one, because like I said, I think the other one is more likely the one I'll use if I'm sitting in the chair or whatever. This one, I kind of just got this one for the price, shamelessly. But also, like I said, to kind of double check the different textures and things. Because again, to going forward, in the future, will I rather have that one than that one, or this company rather than this company? Maybe. Like I said, I already had the Lock Heron one before I added these, but with the sale price, it was kind of like, well, most of the blankets that I have lying around here are old swap meet acrylic things, so it's not the worst purchase in the world. But I definitely have not bought blankets very much in several years, so not the kind of thing I buy annually. That so again, in a no buy year, will I need more flannel sheets? No. Will I need more blankets? No. I mean, barring any unforeseen circumstance where all of a sudden I need new blankets for some reason. But hasn't happened much in the like I said, last 30 years. Not likely to happen much in the next 5 or 10. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, like I said, I don't think I have too much other stuff lying around that. Oh, I did find these. I almost forgot about these. In the neckwear video or the Dead Poet Society video or whatever, I was going to show off the kind of sort of rep tie things that I had found that are not quite Harry Potter and not quite any actual school or organization or whatever. But so before I forget to show these off, here they are. Two. These will be, of course, not necessarily ones I'll use this winter, depending on when or if I get around to wearing more preppy style stuff. Again, we're waiting to see what the weather does. But Easter egg for those of you who watched that video and are one of the 3 of you who watched that video, if you're watching this now. There they are, the 2 ties that I didn't have to show. Can't go back and stick them in the other video now, so that's life. I guess that'll be it. Like I said, I don't know about doing a Q&A video, but if you have any questions now, of course you can feel free to put them in the comments, and I will try to get back to you in a timely and very colorific manner. And I'm going to have to take this off in a minute. So, signing out.